Now, there's one thing I hate more than a liar, and that's a bad liar. Because at that point, you're just lazy. You're not even putting in the effort to try to deceive me. And at that point, I'm disrespected. Like, it's either you think I'm not bright or you just don't care enough to achieve your goal of trying to lie to me. Does that make sense? Meet me on the other side, grab a snack, and let's debunk this entire headline. Let's go.
F around and find out. F around and find out.
Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of F Run and Find Out. I'm your host, Elsie. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for subscribing and spending your weekend with me. You guys, this this case is really the case that keeps on giving. Now, it's giving lies, it's giving deception, it's giving lazy lies, which annoys me the most. Like, put a little bit of effort in, will you? Here's what we have today is Blake Lively decided to flap her gums in her opposition motion that she submitted 2 days ago, saying Colleen Hoover was reluctant to option the book to a man. Let's read exactly what she says, and then I'm going to tell you in about 65 different ways and twice today on Saturday why she's just wrong. And whether or not she came up with it is what I can't tell you, but she's wrong regardless. Let's begin right here with this Us Weekly magazine, which was a lazy job, but hey, I can't blame them. They don't have the time to do the research. And I guarantee you, they haven't read all 1,000 whatever page document we've received on this docket so far. They say right here, Blake Lively claimed Colleen Hoover was reluctant to hire a man to direct the film adaptation of It Ends With Us before eventually agreeing to let Justin Baldoni take the helm. I want to see the text messages. I want to see the emails. But until we get them, because they probably don't exist, here's what I have to show you. So why don't we begin with Blake Lively's opposition motion, where this is what they say on the docket, right? And then I'm going to break it down to you all the ways in which they're wrong. Baldoni and Wayfair curated a misleading feminist brand. In 2017, Baldoni launched the Man Enough brand, which he described as a movement around healthy manhood and greater equity for all. Baldoni sought to monetize his feminist brand through Wayfair, which he co-founded and co-chairs with billionaire Steve Surwitz, who is Wayfair's financier and one of Baldoni's close friends, as is Heath, Wayfair's CEO. Okay, like he's friends with the people he created his company with. Boo-hoo. Get over it. You, Blake Lively, literally had your brother running a brand, a company from an apartment that had no chairs and people had to sit on the ground. You didn't pay them, remember? So why are you pointing out to us that Wayfair pretty much is like a family company, friends and family company, if you will? You ran one horribly. We still remember. Shortly after its launch, Wayfair acquired the film rights to Colleen Hoover's novel, It Ends With Us. The theme, which was female empowerment, including breaking the cycle of domestic violence. Hoover, this is where we get to the moneymaker. Hoover was reluctant to option the film to a man, but agreed to sell the rights to Wayfair because she believed that Baldoni, quote, redacted, we don't know what it says. Hoover explicitly, did she? I know a couple of things Hoover explicitly asked of Mr. Baldoni, and I'm going to tell you, but a woman directing was not one of them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Hoover explicitly requested that a woman direct the film. Although Baldoni had directed only 2 small films, Wayfair decided that he would direct, executive produce, and be the film's lead male character. Where is the lie? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things just isn't the same. Wayfair never insisted on Mr. Baldoni being the male lead. You know who insisted that? Yeah, Colleen, the woman who was reluctant to let a man direct. She was the one that sent the email that says, hey, would you want to be Ryle? Would you consider? Whatever the language was, we're going to get into that. I just want to make sure I let you know these are lies. The lies, the lies, the lies, like Candy says. Justin also was not the executive producer. He started out as that, but ended up not being that because there was a lot of hats he had to wear. Okay, so let me not waste your time. Let's start with the first debunking of this madness, if you will. First things first, and the easiest one we can debunk is, I wish we could work our way forwards, but just so it's easier, let's go backwards on this one here. April 12, 2019, you have here on your screen, Hoover suggests Baldoni portray Ryle in the film. From Colleen Hoover, subject, It Ends With Us, dated April 12, 2019 at 9:52 at 25 seconds a.m. to Justin Baldoni. Have you given any thought to whether you would want an acting role in this? Say, maybe Ryle? I could see it. I'm a visionary. I wrote this book. I can actually see you being Ryle. Should we also insert Colleen Hoover explaining why she thought somebody like Justin Baldoni would be great at being Ryle? All right, hold it.
The whole time that I've been thinking about this movie and who could play the characters, like, honestly, you need someone in the role of Ryle who is it's going to hurt when you see them not be who you wish they could be. I felt that in my dad. My dad was this very good looking, charismatic, like everyone loved him. And it's like, why can't you just be this in every aspect of your life? Like, he was a good dad, but then you also want him to be a good husband. And so with Justin playing that role, it was honestly perfect, even though I did not want to see him do those things and be in those scenes, because he is such a wonderfully kind human.
Now let's go back to Blake Lively saying Hoover explicitly requested that a woman direct the film, although Baldoni had directed only 2 small films. Small to who? We liked the films he's directed. They were very, very good. Wayfarer decided that he would direct, executive produce, and be the film's lead male actor. Wayfarer did not decide that, beloved. Your friend, your fairy godmother, Colleen Hoover, granted you that wish. Thank her for that. Again, if you're going to lie, I need you to put your best foot forward. Do a better job at convincing me that you a little liar. Because don't piss me off with tiny lies that can be proven. And don't do that. Like, that's just lazy. We're going to jump back into our Bible's timeline of relevant events. For those of you following along, we are literally on page 1, because everything Blake Lively said unfolds and debunks itself within the first few pages, which is where we're going to find Justin Baldoni sending this email on April 11th, 2019. At 5 p.m., Justin Baldoni, the email is redacted. I'm finally coming up for air from the release of the film, but still shooting Jane for another 2 weeks. By the way, were you able to see it? Would love to know your thoughts. We actually started filming the final episode today. Crazy, so grateful. So I haven't been able to get It Ends With Us off my mind. Such an important story, so damn romantic and beautiful and tragic and hopeful. I always say that both in art and life, all the best stories are always 2 things at once. That is so much what your book is. Joy and pain, love and sorrow. You did such a beautiful job of covering incredibly difficult subject matter and playing it out in a realistic and unforgivable way. But what I love the most is the opportunity to let so many women feel seen on the screen by this particular story. I can't even imagine how many women there are who are stuck in a relationship like this, and via the story could find the strength to create a better life for themselves and their children. There are so many opportunities to partner with organizations and create impact with a story like this. I love that you held back nothing from the pain of Lily and Ryle's past. I love that they really are no bad guys, and that we are the sons of our experience and our trauma. I love the opportunity for narration and the stunning and gorgeous impact of the title payoff at the end. These are the kind of stories that change and save lives, and I believe this story in particular can continue to have a huge impact on the world. So if you will have me, I would love to option it from you. On a separate note, the screenplay for 5 Feet Apart was adapted into a novel and has been on the New York Times bestseller list since before the release of the movie last month. I know you have your charity, and I would be happy to donate some signed copies from the book for the Bookworm box. Let know. I think he means let me know what you think. Much love, Justin. Now, that's what Justin sends Colleen when he wants to option the book after his original email, right? Staying with our Bibles, let's look at Colleen Hoover's reply to Justin Baldoni on April 11th at 6:43:27 p.m. PDT. Thank you so much for the email. I wasn't expecting you to read it so quickly. I would love to talk with you more about the project. You get the book, and that's the most important thing to me. Like, he understands the book. My big fear is that I will option it to someone who thinks it's a hot romance, and I don't need to explain why I'm laughing. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you really, 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 really must be new here. But this line, my big fear is that I'll option it to someone who thinks it's a hot romance, and they'll take it in the absolute wrong direction. While Blake Lively is claiming Colleen wanted a woman to adapt this and direct this, what she meant to say is Colleen wanted people to not treat this like a romance novel, which is exactly what she did. But I digress. This is too funny. Every time I read it, I giggle. It's worth reading again. My big fear is that I'll option to someone who thinks it's a hot romance and they'll take it in the absolute wrong direction. I'm going to be upfront with you about a couple of things so you can decide if you want to move forward. Here we go. And please pause and tell me the moment you hear Colleen saying, I need a woman to direct this, or I want a woman to direct this, or I absolutely will not allow a man to direct this. Please, if you hear it, stop and tell me in the comments. I've sold several film options, and I realize not all of them get made, and I'm okay with that. One of the film options was not a great experience. The producer started a fundraising campaign for the film without my knowledge or permission beforehand and ended up taking over $100,000 from my readers. The film was never made, my option was never paid, and I ended up pulling the plug on the project, and the producers never refunded the readers their money. I felt terrible that my readers were the ones punished, so I mailed out $15,000 worth of free products to those who donated to their campaign. I want to be... People gave away $100,000 and you donated $15,000 worth of product that probably cost... If you call in at 15,000, you're probably doing retail price, which give or take, it probably cost you, and I'm being generous here, $5,000 to make. So don't waste my time. $15,000 worth of free products to those who donated to their campaign. I want to be positive that crowdsourcing is not something that will be done when it comes to this film. It's important to me that a funding plan is in place that won't affect the supporters of this book. So the first thing we've checked off our box is she's worried about crowdfunding, crowdsourcing. That will not be happening with this book. Check. Justin understands that. Don't worry. I'm still waiting for the part where it has to be a woman that directs this. Let's wait. Let's see if the word even woman comes up, right? Let's keep that in mind. While that experience wasn't a positive one, I had a wonderful experience working with a producer on Confess. Now, Confess is this miniseries she had. We're going to talk about that later. It was a 7-episode series that was picked up by Awestruck and Go90, but unfortunately, right before it released, Go90 declared they were shutting down. Because of that, Confess released on an already defunct platform just a week before they were scheduled to shut down. Luckily, my readers got to watch it, so not all was lost. And the overall experience was so much fun and very surreal. I didn't really have a lot of involvement beyond reading the script and getting the dailies. I just handed it over and let them do their thing because I was immersed in other projects at the time. It Ends With Us is important to me, though. I would love more involvement on this film. I've actually been working on a script for it already, along with a producer friend of mine who lives in LA. Her name is Redacted. Now, that is the name I really want to know. I don't think it's Alex Sachs, because we would have found out by now from the Wayfair side that Alex Sachs and Colleen Hoover have a relationship. What I do want to know is if there's a possibility that that producer friend is who connected Alex Sachs to Sony, therefore to Colleen, therefore to this movie, right? I kind of need to know what happened there. But whoever this producer friend is, their name has been able to stay out of this entire time because it's still redacted. And she's a very dear friend of mine and is a huge fan and supporter of this book. We sat down for a week and outlined it last month, but I had to put a pause on it because I'm on a deadline for this book I'm writing. We plan on picking it up because in 2 weeks, I'm diving into it. Even though I'm the author, I believe I've been able to separate myself enough from the format of the book to know what would make the best setup for the film. While I do want to please the readers who have read the book, I understand the need to make a film that will equally touch those who haven't read the book. Are you based out of Los Angeles? We can meet and have a chat about our vision for the film to make sure we are on the same page. I'm based out of Texas, but I'm in LA a lot. So we've covered a few things. She wanted to make sure there would be no crowdsourcing, check. She wanted to make sure Justin would do this justice and not treat it like a romance novel, check, because it's very important to her. She's been working with other projects. She just want to make sure it doesn't end up on some defunct platform. It doesn't become like some small time movie, check. We still haven't come across the woman of it all. Okay. Other than, here we go. This is where she's really going to let Justin know what's important to her. So stay tuned. Other than ensuring my readers won't be asked to donate to the fundraising for the film and hoping to have more involvement in the process, because remember in the last project, she just said she handed it over, but now she kind of wants to be more involved. That's very important to her. So she made it be known. So other than ensuring my readers won't be asked to donate to the fundraising of the film and hoping to have more involvement in the process when it comes to the script and production, I don't really have any other request. I'm sorry, I just want to make sure you guys can see that. So I'm going to zoom in it as much as possible so we are all on the same page. I'm going to highlight it and hope you guys can really see it. But it literally says, I don't really have any other request. So we are done with the request stage. So we still didn't come across Colleen asking for a woman to direct this movie. Am I tripping? No, I'm right? Okay. You guys know I love being right. Realize your experience with film far outweighs mine, and based on the magnificent adaptation, you did of 5 Feet Apart, I'm confident you could do this book justice and that our visions will align. Wow, Colleen, that was very insightful of you. Not. I watched the film 2 nights ago, 5 Feet Apart, and immediately started the book yesterday. Sometimes I like to do it backwards. I think you did a wonderful job, and even though I'm not finished with the book yet, I feel like the essence of it was captured beautifully through film. I wrote a book where one of the characters suffers from CF, so I've done a lot of research on the subject and thought Rachel and you did such an amazing portrayal of what carriers of CF go through. In fact, our very first donation through the Bookworm box was the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. We donated in honor of the child of one of my readers. We donated in honor of the child of one of my readers. His name is Redacted, and he's just an incredibly inspiring kid. Check out this video. Then she sent a link. So it's safe to say we're done with the request part, but we're still going to finish reading the whole email. It's actually funny you emailed me when you did. When the email came through on my phone, I was on your website browsing Wayfarer. Love the Me Too chat. I'm going to just point the Me Too chat to you guys. I've listened to this about maybe 2 times overall now, but just in case you guys haven't had a chance to listen to this, it's very, very great conversation. It's about an hour and 10 minutes. They interview some men. They talk about the responsibility of men to really spend time with their male children and, make sure they're growing up the right way. Don't just play basketball with your kids and just shoot the shit with your kids. Really parent these boys in this world they're growing up in. And then there are some interviews with some women who suffered some domestic issues. And it's a really, really great listen. If you guys want, let me know in the comments if you want us to do let me know in the comments if you guys want us to do like a watch party. I would be interested in doing that. We can watch it right here on YouTube. I'll link it here and we could all show up in the comments and watch it and share our thoughts. We can pick a day for that if only you guys are interested. If not, you can watch it on your own time. All right, love the Me Too chat. Okay, that's enough rambling. I really do appreciate the email and appreciate you taking a chance on reading the book. My readers are so ready to support this book and it has meant so much to so many of them. So naturally, I want them to be happy. I want to bring them an adaptation that they'll be proud of. Did you happen to read the author's note at the end of the novel? It's a quick read if you didn't get a chance to read it. My mother inspired this book, so maybe that's why I've been so hesitant to sell the rights to this in the past. I feel good about this though. I feel good about you. I've seen your past work, your passion, and your love for humanity, and I honestly feel there's no one better for this project. Should I repeat that? I feel good about this, though. I feel good about you. I've seen your work. I've seen your past work, your passion, and your love for humanity, and I honestly feel there's no one better for the project. Before I direct you to my agent, I want to get your thoughts on the above, as in the things she requested. Thank you so much. Justin, I hope you and the family were able to get some vacation time in. However this works out, I would love books for the bookstore. In fact, we just started a YA box and would love to feature 5 Feet Apart in the subscription box if there's a way we can buy a few hundred copies at cost. Everyone needs this book in their possession. Okay, then. So we have now established that Colleen Hoover, you did not have a pot to piss in, if you will. I'm exaggerating. But you did not have a pot to piss in as far as book adaptations. You have had a lot of bad luck in the past. And I'm beginning to think you brought your bad luck onto this set. Because what did this man do to require you to literally shit the bed and shit where you eat at this level? Now people can say, yeah, Colleen has been picked up for the movies, Verity, Reminders of You, Regretting You, all that. You think any of that happens if Wayfair doesn't touch It Ends With Us first, and Wayfair doesn't bring Boko Bunny at box office, and Justin is not the first person to bring her up? In fact, Justin makes a good point in one of his interviews where he says, like, he's surprised Colleen Hoover has been flying under the radar. Like, nobody knew about her. And Now, this is how you show your gratitude, is by lying. Now, one of you who would like to remain anonymous found this interview from Colleen Hoover and sent it to me. It's a very quick listen. Let's take a listen and then just let's listen.
One thing I forgot to mention is you have a book currently being made into a movie. How many
Yeah.
of your books have turned into movies?
So I have a mini series out there somewhere that happened like in 2015, 16 called Confess.
Okay.
That's the only one I have so far. I have a lot out right now that are like being turned into movies. It Ends With Us is going to be the first like film. So I'm excited about
It's
that.
a big
Comes
deal
out.
too. I mean, you got like A-listers on there.
Yeah, I'm
Big
super excited. Blake Lively's the star and Justin Baldoni and yeah, I'm super excited to see this one.
Now the writer's strike's over now. So
Mhm.
did that affect production and everything that was
It
going
did,
on?
yeah. We were shut down and there were still some scenes left to film. I don't really know where they are in the process. It was pretty much done, but it wasn't completely done. So I know
Right.
they still have some work left to do, but it's not an overwhelming amount.
So you got to hang out on set, I assume, right?
Yeah, I did. It was really, really cool just getting to see how all that runs. It's a whole different world.
Yeah,
being
I
on set.
imagine.
It's very fascinating and very intimidating.
Did they ask for your input on certain things? Like they want things to be a certain way? Did they
Oh
pull you
yeah,
in, or did they-
Justin's been in contact with me very closely. He's very he's just been very communicative with me and they don't all have to do that and not all producers want authors really involved because they want it to become their creation, but
Oh,
he's been very good about wanting to make the readers happy and give them, you know, what they want out of this book. So I'm that's why I'm so excited about it because I do feel like they're going to do it justice.
Do you know when the
Oh.
movie's supposed to be out? I mean, if they're still not
I
gonna
don't.
create-
They had a release date, but that's
Yeah.
going to have to change
That all
because
got
of the
messed up,
strike.
right.
But I don't know when the new release date is yet.
Well, how exciting, and that had to be like such a surreal experience being on the set of a movie based
It
on
was, especially because there's just so many people involved, like hundreds of people there. You have these 18-wheelers with the name of the movie on the side of it, like parked in the streets of New Jersey. And I'm like, how did this happen?
all because
Yeah,
of
I took
Amazon.
a lot of behind the scenes pictures and videos just to kind of keep to myself to remember
Yeah,
all of that. It was really cool.
that is extremely cool.
how? How did that happen? Colleen wants to know how. Okay, let's look at the very beginning. In the beginning, God created Colleen Hoover. Colleen Hoover wrote a shitty book. Justin Baldoni's book agent, showed him, said, shitty book. He fell for the okey doke, right? Because he thought it was actually legit because the book was fraudulent per the readers and people who know Colleen, don't at me. And what else? Oh yeah, let's see. So in the beginning, God created Colleen. Colleen wrote a shitty book. Justin found said shitty book. He read said shitty book. He fell for the okey doke, and he made a movie. And yeah, he gave you your first experience of seeing your book title on an 18-wheeler. You took your ungrateful ass all the way to the bank and cashed the checks. And that is why, I was going to keep going, but I want to see heaven eventually. I know I have a lot of making up to do, and I can't keep adding on sentences, if you will, by talking shit about Colleen Hoover and her shitty book. I really, really feel bad that people of domestic violence have to go through this because there are people who really, really go through things like this. And somehow this book has distorted their realities for check because Colleen Hoover cannot seem to decide if this book is real or not. So I'll leave that up to you guys to decide and tell me in the comments if you agree that this book was shitty or not. But that's just my opinion here. Like I said, I'm trying to make it to the heaven gates, so I can't keep talking shit all day. With that said, I hope I did a pretty good job of debunking this ridiculous scenario of a story of Colleen wanted a woman to direct it. What is funny about saying Colleen wanted a woman to direct it is if we look at Alex Sachs' deposition, this part around page 59, we've read this before on the live, so I'm not going to belabor it, but they ask her, Alex Sachs has sent a message. Justin was very dismissive of her when she wanted to direct and then used Jamie to try to manipulate her. when he realized she could co-direct it after she got Daddy-O going. I'm sorry, but if Christy Hall, they're talking about Christy Hall, the screenwriter, if Christy Hall wants to direct, co-direct, whatever, it's not Justin's job to make her realize that dream. Go do that on somebody else's project. Go pick up a book, go read it, go buy the book, option it, and make your own movie. And all you girls hold hands and sing Kumbaya and sync your periods, and all of you, and sync your periods on a Flow app and do your girly shit over there. This is not the project to do it on. And to literally come on a docket and blatantly lie. Like I said, whether the lie is Blake Lively telling it or Colleen telling Blake to fit in, or it never happened, either way, a lie is a lie is a lie. I gotta go get something to eat. With that said, thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. Thanks for your likes, your shares, your comments. I love the hypes. And I hope you subscribe if you haven't already done so. And even if you have, double check to make sure you're still subscribed. I hope this video wasn't too long and you had a snack while you sat through it. And I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
If around and